All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving into a question that one of you sent in, and honestly, it might be one of the best questions we've ever gotten. I love this. So this one comes from a viewer named Ryan. And Ryan, my friend, I think you speak for literally everyone. I mean, who hasn't daydreamed about just tossing out their regular kitchen knives for something, well, a little more elegant? It's an absolutely brilliant question, and you know what? It deserves a real, scientific answer. So what's really stopping us? Is this something we're going to figure out eventually, or are the laws of physics themselves standing in our way? Well, spoiler alert, we're about to find out why this awesome piece of sci-fi gear is, unfortunately, getting a hard no from the universe. Okay, first up, let's talk about the most obvious part of a lightsaber, the blade. Because right off the bat, this is our first and maybe our biggest problem. This sounds almost too simple, but trust me, it's the absolute deal breaker. See, the basic physics of light says that a beam of light just goes. It travels in a perfectly straight line forever until it hits something. It doesn't just magically stop about 3 feet from your hand. And this is where fantasy smacks right into reality. In the movies, you've got this perfect, beautiful, meter-long blade of pure energy. But here, in the real world, the second you turn that thing on to slice your sausage, that beam is going to shoot out and just keep going, right through your ceiling, up into the sky, and yeah, it would probably zap a few satellites before you even realized what happened. You know, this quote really nails it. That cool, contained blade we all know and love, it's just movie magic, pure Hollywood trickery. There's no law of physics that lets you put a cap on a beam of light in the middle of the air. It just doesn't work that way. All right, let's pretend for a second that we've magically solved that whole infinite blade problem, okay? Now we've got to power this thing. And let me tell you, the amount of energy we're talking about here is, well, it's pretty astronomical. Just to give you some perspective, to cut just a tiny 1 centimeter hole in a person or, your sausage, you would need about 50,000 joules of energy. That is a huge amount of power for one little slice. Okay, now look at this comparison. A real-world portable chemical laser. We're talking a whole kilogram of fuel. It only puts out about 50 joules. 50. That's not even enough to singe a silk rope. So to get the 50,000 plus joules you need for an actual lightsaber, yeah, you'd basically have to carry a nuclear reactor around on your back. Not exactly practical for your morning commute, right? So we've got an infinite blade and an impossible power source. But what about the sound? The best part, that iconic vwoom-vwoom of a lightsaber duel? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but physics isn't a fan of that either. And to get why, we have to talk for a sec about photons. Photons are the fundamental particles of light. They're the little tiny bits that would actually make up your laser sword. And here's the kicker about photons. For one, they're completely silent, so no voom-voom hum. Bummer. But even more importantly, they don't block each other. They don't have mass. So if you're in a duel, your beam would just pass right through your opponent's beam. No sparks, no clashing, no epic clink sound. It would just be, well, really, really awkward. So when you put it all together, the battle of Hollywood versus the universe, it's not even a close fight. The lightsaber we want and the one physics would actually let us have are two totally different things. Yeah, this really sums it all up, doesn't it? The Hollywood lightsaber has that finite blade, a portable power pack, and all those cool sounds. The real-world version, it'd be an infinite blade hooked up to a nuclear reactor, and it would be totally, completely silent. I mean, they're not even in the same league. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean powerful lasers are just science fiction. Oh no, they are very, very real. I'm talking about things like the ZM-87, which is a military weapon that's powerful enough to blind pilots from 5 kilometers away. So we've definitely got the powerful beam of light part figured out. It's just, not exactly a sword. And that brings us right back to where we started. So, Ryan, my man, the final verdict is in. For the safety of your house, your wallet, and, well, everyone in the flight path, you should probably just stick with a good old serrated knife for that sausage. It's just a little more practical. So that just leaves us with one last question to chew on. If lightsabers are totally out, what's the closest thing we could actually build? Is there some kind of real-world tech, maybe using plasma or something, that could get us close? Now that sounds like a question for another day. Thanks for watching.
With that, you'll certainly die smarter, but you'll still die. But before you do, don't forget to like the video and subscribe.